and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, from the Ocean Course at Kiowa Island, we bring you first-round coverage of the Carolina Open. This promises to be a fun 4 days, a lot of storylines to get to as we check out the early leaderboard. England's Tommy Fleetwood is the leader. He's at 3 under par here in the early going. The first here at Kiowa Island at 396 yards may just be the most docile on the course. A big wide fairway leaving plenty of room for error with the opening tee shot, and that should leave you with a straightforward look at the green. And there's a good start. That one in the fairway here to get the tournament rolling. Pin cut back left here today as he stares down his second to the par 4. Well, had a good look at the green, but couldn't cash it in. In the rough now, wondering what might have been. This from 7 feet. Well done. That is in for a par here at the first. And he'll stay at level par. Frank looking out onto that marsh. No doubt there are alligators roaming around. So it's a good time to remind our players that this is where they decide how much of that marsh they want to bite off with the tee shot here.
Yeah, I don't really advise biting too much off, Rich. This is almost an S-shaped par 5. I mean, there's a long run-up down that right side. So basically anything in a straight line, a good tee shot, still going to be able to reach.
Trying to hold up a draw there into the breeze. Well, not this time. That one's in the rough. Might be a tough shot coming up. And that's where you need to be, back into the fairway on this par 5. Well, those are the shots that turn what you'd like to be a leisurely stroll out on the golf course into a day of hard work.
Yeah, what could have been a tap-in is now going to be a grind.
Good putt there. It's in for par here at the second. And he'll stay at even par. Frank, why would the architect Pete Dye say this was one of the most unusual holes on the entire course?
Well, it's the shortest for a start, and just that green complex, Rich, the fact that it just falls away rapidly on all four sides of this green. That's what the architect wanted, and that's what the architect got.
Walking the course today, let's bring in Nota Begay III.
115 yards left. Wind definitely hurting in his face. Sand wedge takes flight, and I don't think it's going to carry.
Nah, just caught it fat out of the rough. Never had a chance of reaching, and now it is time to regroup and try to escape with a par.
Lovely pitch shot. Just nipped that ball off the turf. Just flew through the air beautifully. Sat down fairly quick as well. Good shot.
So that, safely in. It's a par here at the third. And he'll stay right where he is. This is a tough hole, the fourth at 484 yards, a par 4, and it's pure Kiowa. In fact, this is the hardest hole on this front side. You have to deal with the marsh off the tee yet again. The real challenge here, the winds. They can be blustery, and they can make this hole a bear. Yeah, good swing and a good result, as that is safely into the fairway. A left to right breeze, something to consider here as he eyes this second shot. That's got to be disappointing. Good lie in the fairway, and the approach winds up in the bunker. Looking to splash this softly onto the green. Okay, safely on the putting surface out of the sand. Would have maybe liked to run that up a little further, but that's not the worst shot in the world. That's in. It is a good par here at number 4. and he'll remain right where he is. So Frank, here we are, the first par 3 on the golf course, and what do you make of this 5th hole?
It's really 2 holes, Rich. When the flag is on the left, it's basically one green, and when the flag's on the right, it's effectively another type of a golf shot. This green is actually 40 yards wide and separated with that little faint ridge in the middle.
Boy, that ball got caught in the breeze and it was just along for the ride. Much too firm there. Now a second to this par 3. "13 feet away." Hang on. That's going to leave about 3 feet. Okay, that one brushed in for bogey here at the 5th. And he's going to fall back now to 1 over par. The first of 8 straight holes heading due west is here at the par 4-6, 490 yards. It's a slight dogleg to the left, but if you can avoid the waist area running down that left side, that makes birdie a good possibility. And that's going to wind up in the bunker off the tee, so this opening round not progressing as planned here in the early going. Anything on the green would be a good result from here as he readies his second out of the sand.
Not the best shot we've seen today, but when you consider that was set out of the fairway bunker, it certainly gets a pass grade.
Look here at birdie.
Ball definitely sitting on the high side of the hole. It's downhill, but one thing in his favor, there isn't too much break to speak of.
Got it there, but not quite on target. Safely in for par here at the 6th, and he'll stay at 1 over. Second par 5 here on the front side. Frank, if you don't make 4 here, I think you're losing ground to the field.
I'd agree with you, Rich. The biggest thing here is just a solid tee shot, because it's going to be within reach with a good tee shot. If you didn't hit your best, then you have to be careful with those trees up on the right side by the green. I've caught a few people out over the years.
This one starting up that left side. Be a little disappointed with that because it lands in the rough and it appears to be fairly thick over there. Really hit that second shot on the button to this par 5, but Frank couldn't get it to stop.
Yeah, too good, too long, sadly.
A birdie chance if he can knock one in close. His third from the bunker. Okay, a good out, and that's what will remain for birdie. Ah, yes, runs that one right in. It's a birdie here at the 7th. On to the 8th hole now at 198 yards, par 3. Like so many of the greens on this front side, if you don't land it just right, there's a hard slope around the edges, so having the distance dialed in here is a must. Okay, that one average at best, and he'll have a fairly long putt coming up next. This one computed at an even 60 feet here for birdie. Tell you what, lag putting such an underrated part of the game, and that is well done there. Okay, that in for par here at the 8th, and he'll stay right where he is. The final hole on this front side is a right-to-left par 4 at 514 yards. A lone putt bunker right off the tee must be avoided, and most players will be left with a mid to long iron into a green with more than its share of humps and hollows. And that will be more than adequate. It's safely into the fairway. From the fairway nota, this is second.
143 yards left to the hole, standing on even par, looking to go under for the day. Gap wedge just a touch offline. It's gonna miss left.
A little too much coffee today. Second shot was short, and a nervy chip whizzes past the hole.
And the computer dials this one up at 26 feet. Yeah, tough to get that all the way up the slope, but that's not too bad from there. Okay, a shake of the head as that one is finished off. He'll drop back to 1 over par. Through 9 holes, good time to take a deep breath and look out at that spectacular panorama, which this tee does allow you to do, Frank, as it sits right atop a sand dune. It's really pretty.
It is, and it's another hole that still goes in that westerly direction. When you look down at this fairway, you have to respect the right side. Right side is a complete and utter no-no. That's where all the big numbers.
Maybe some frustrations taken out there after that last hole. It was a big swing, and it is going to be a big result. Now, from just under 100 yards, he'll stare down his second.
That's a bit of a head turner, really. That was a green light situation from that distance, and far from the best shot I've seen today.
The way to start the backside. A perfect read. It's a birdie at number 10. Not much is straightforward here at the Ocean Course. This 11th is proof positive of that at a stout 593 yards. A handful of half-moon bunkers right are what to avoid on your tee shot. But even with a drive in the fairway, a couple of devilishly placed pot bunkers up near the hole have been known to give golfers fits. Solid, good drive in the fairway. In the fairway, shouldn't be more than 200 yards to the flagstick. Really hit that second shot on the button to this par 5, but Frank couldn't get it to stop.
Yeah, too good, too long, sadly.
Seven feet now for birdie. Good start to this backside. Back-to-back birdies here at 10 and 11. More fun now from Pete Dye here at the par 4 12. This is the widest fairway on the golf course, but then it is one of the narrowest approaches.
Yeah, it's also the start of two very important par 4s here at Kiowa Ridge, because the drive here and 13 has to be spot on. This one has bunkers, but both second shots will have water in play. Beautiful tee shot, straight down the middle. Just got to worry about that 3/4 or half wedge shot upcoming.
93 yards is the number as he sets for his second.
In golf, you know, you've heard the term mulligan. You'd love that, a do-over there, wouldn't you? I mean, that's just, it's very poor from that range.
This now for birdie at 12.
And this doesn't look too complicated at all. I don't think he needs to give away the hole. This is pretty straight on.
Nope, good effort, but that's going to wander a few feet by. That one safely in. It's a par here at 12. And he'll remain in red figures at 1 under. The par 4 13th here at the Ocean Course is a beauty, demanding strategy off the tee. Challenging the canal running down the right side allows you to possibly shorten the hole, but playing away from the canal brings a cluster of pot bunkers into play left. And no issues there. Good tee shot in the short grass. A back right hole location here as he gets set for his second to the par 4. Well, as an old baseball announcer once said, going,
Gone.
goodbye. Well judged. That is in for par here at 13. And he'll remain at 1 under par. Par 3 14th hole, and this one is a stunner, isn't it?
It looks good, but it's not much fun to play. When you look down there, you might as well be hitting on the top of a pyramid. And look at the way it falls off, down to that sandy area on the left, a good 10 feet below. If you finish up short, it's going to roll the way back to the tee box that way. Good 10 feet short. If you miss it on the right, well, that's about 10 feet below the level of the putting surface. I'm not even going to talk about the back of the green. Please, please, hit the green.
And that one not on the green, but not in a terrible spot either. Sitting up in the short grass. Still work to do to get this on the green. This is second. And that'll do just fine. 8-foot putt here. Okay, good putt. And a par here at 14. And he'll remain right where he is. The 15th is a par 4 at 466 yards. The landing area is a little more benign than some of the other par 4s on the course, but missing left up near the green is where the score could really start to add up. Oh, he's overcooked it. That is well left. So that ball nestles down in the rough. Just got away a little bit on that tee ball. Now a 7-footer. Yeah, good putt. That's in for par here at 15. And he'll stay right where he is. Final par 5 of the day here at the Ocean Course is the 16th. Frank, this was a pivotal hole down the stretch of the 2021 PGA Championship.
It certainly was reachable in the right conditions, but you look at that fairway, even though it's wide, it's split in two sections. The right side is the flat side and the top side. The left side of this fairway, it all runs down to the hill. You've got to be a little lucky, but good looking hole. That green sitting up on the top of the hill as well with huge sandy area on the left. So if anything, just respect the right side when you're coming into this par 5 green. But remember, you are playing a great par 5.
That is going to come to rest squarely in the center of the fairway. Now, from just under 300 yards, a second from the fairway at the par 5.
Par 5s too, they're the ones you really want to make birdie on, but the second shot, it's gone into that bunker. It's an awkward third.
So this one going to have to carry a long way. Didn't check, Frank.
Yeah, just not enough spin on that, really. I mean, that almost like took that first bounce and just ricocheted forward. Way too good, I must say. That was just smashed. Yeah, sizable putt left.
Just going to sneak on by. Okay, in for a bogey at 16. And that's going to move him back down to even par. Now to one of the most famous holes in recent major championship golf, the 17th, the par 3. And Frank, I don't want to plant seeds of doubt, but when I stare at this hole with the water, I'm thinking about disaster and calamity. It's all right there, isn't it?
It's all happened here, Rich. This hole has a memory. The first time we ever saw it on TV was in the 1991 Ryder Cup, and it was the deciding hole. So many of the best players in the world actually found water. For example, even just this finish. Remember Colin Montgomery playing Mark Calcavecchia? Colin Montgomery finished bogey, bogey, double bogey, bogey, and won all 4 holes. But this one, you just try and survive.
And that one not on the green, but not in a terrible spot either. Sitting up in the short grass. A chance maybe to run something back there for his second.
The strike was fine on the pitch shot, ball first, then turf, just wasn't really hit hard enough.
Oh yeah, worth an exhale there. That's a good par save here at 17. And he'll stay at level par. Well, you know you're playing a great hole when Pete Dye, one of the greatest architects of all time and the man who dreamed up this magnificent ocean course here at Kiowa Island, when Pete Dye said, this is his favorite hole. Enjoy it. No issues here. That is into the fairway. So job one is completed and done well. That was a good drive, but Frank, there is a lot of work ahead here on this second shot.
Exactly right, Rich. After that tee shot, then you look at the second shot, what's up ahead, which is going to be another long approach shot to a green that, once again, does not sit straight in front of you. So you have to aim a little down that left side, just favor left of middle, and stripe it.
How good are these players? It lands it on the putting surface from a million miles away and still manages to hold the green. Yeah, that's not bad. He was hoping that would come down a little more, but that's a good effort. Okay, safely in for his par at 18. And that will be an opening round of 72, even par. One last look at the leaderboard, Frank. Our featured golfer down, but not out after day one.
Yeah, they might have to take the standing 8, though, or hit the reset button. This can easily go the wrong way very quickly. Tomorrow, important round.
So, for Frank Nobilo, Nota Begay III, and Iona Stephen, I'm Rich Lerner. We'll see you next time on EA Sports PGA Tour Golf.